Hi, my name is Brandy McEwen, and my journey in early childhood and educational field started back in high school. I volunteered at my local elementary school where I would help students learn to read. I'll never forget the moment when a struggling reader suddenly understood when the letters and sounds clicked into place and their face lit up. That moment changed everything for me. I knew then that working with young people wasn't just a job, it was what I was meant to do. Today, I work in discipline and grade recovery at a technical high school. I can honestly say it's the most fulfilling job I could hope for. I spend a lot of time counseling students and working through behavioral challenges with them. What most people don't know about me, I experienced significant trauma and toxic stress growing up. That experience has become kind of like my superpower. It gave me the ability to see students the way they need to be seen, not as problems to fix, but as young people who've survived hard things and deserve someone who believes in them. When I sit across from a student who's been through the system, who's been labeled difficult or at risk, I can see myself and I understand them in a way that the textbooks just can't teach. I created a flyer focused on Pasco County resources and networks for children and families with developmental delays. I chose to focus specifically on developmental delays because this is something I'm familiar with, both professionally and personally. My youngest son was diagnosed with a language impairment and developmental delays by Fiddlers. It's Florida's diagnostic and learning resources system. As a parent navigating that system, I understand the questions family asks, the uncertainty and the desperate need for good information and support. When I created this flyer, I was thinking about families like mine. For my research, I used multiple search methods to gather accurate information. I conducted Google searches for Pasco County developmental delay resources, Fiddler services, early intervention programs, and local support networks. I use social media to find parent groups, community organizations, and peer networks in Pasco County where families share real experiences and recommendations. I also spoke to my school staff, the teachers, the counselors, and specialists who work with these children daily and know which resources genuinely make a difference. The flyer covers 5 essential areas: early intervention services, school-based services and Fiddlers, community support networks, contact information and next steps, and helpful hotlines because sometimes family just need to talk to someone who understands. How I would share this with a family. First, I'd recognize that a family just receiving a diagnosis of a developmental delay is often in a vulnerable place. They might be scared, confused, or uncertain about what comes next. My approach would need to be supportive and empathetic. I would meet with them and share that I know this diagnosis can feel overwhelming right now, but there are so many people and resources in Pasco County ready to help. I would let them know that I put together information and services available and give them a physical copy of the flyer or possibly a digital link. Then I would walk them through the key sections, highlighting the resources most relevant to their child's age and needs. I would share my own story and let them know that I have been where they are, that my own son went through this, and that with the right support, children can thrive. I would provide my contact information and offer to help make that first call or email if they need support. Then I would check in with them later on to see if they were able to access services if they needed any additional assistance. I think getting a flyer like this out there, it would have to be in like your daycare systems, your elementary schools, places where young children and their families go, maybe even a library. I didn't really face many significant challenges in creating this resource, but I think that's because I have advantages that many people don't. Through my work in the public school system here in Pasco County, I am already familiar with a range of resources available. I know who to contact, where services are located, and how the systems work. Additionally, because my youngest son has also been diagnosed with a language impairment and developmental delays, I've navigated these systems myself. I have real contacts, real experience, and real relationships with the professionals in this field. Many families don't have these advantages. They face real barriers, lack of information, no professional connections, language barriers, transportation challenges, and confusion. As educators, we can't assume that families are going to find these resources on their own. We need to meet families where they are, usually scared, confused, and desperate for direction. But thank you all for listening, and I hope this resource has provided some helpful information for you.